Today on episode 159, we are taking you inside the Foxy Home Staging Warehouse to show you where, why and how we store and organise everything the way we do. And then I have two quick installs to show you. Let's go to the front of the warehouse where Jake is going to start our warehouse tour.
Welcome to the Foxy Warehouse. We're going to answer a few questions that we've had come through, and I guess it's a bit of a warehouse tour in a way. Give you some tips in the way that we kind of think about how we lay out our warehouse. So let's go. Our warehouse here is broken into obviously the larger portion of the warehouse, which we're going to get to on the other side of this wall soon. And then we've got an office space upstairs, which I won't show you because it's just desks and people. Then we've got an indoor kind of area in here, which we might start with. I guess this room here, for a little while we weren't sure what to do with it. Little foyer area. What we've decided is it's a transition area for us. So when the stylists are doing their selections and bucketing all their accessories and everything in the next room, because we're doing 4, 5, 6 installs some days, we want to make sure that when they're doing their selections, when they're finished, it's out of the way for the next person to get going. So they're actually bringing all their buckets into this room. We've got kind of little bays taped down on the ground so that they can put them there out of the way and everyone knows what's going on. We tend to kind of keep some of our heavier pieces of art, but also glass and mirrors and that sort of thing out here to keep it separate, particularly rounded things, because in a minute I'll show you how we kind of look after our artwork, but the round mirrors are a little bit trickier. And we're about to go through into the stylist kind of area, but before we do that, just out in the car park, what we kind of do is we've got car parks that kind of go all the way up the side here, but we make sure that the first 3 or 4 are stylist loading bays, just because we've got the stylist area so close. So when the buckets come out, it all comes straight into the car. So we're lucky in that we have direct access. I mean, the car can back right to the door if we need to, so it makes their life a lot easier. In here is the stylist area mostly. So we've got our shelving. This is just Bunnings shelving, quite solid. All the accessories all the way through the back there. We have the lampshades and a lot of the lamps up on top, vases and stuff down the back. Cushions, we've got this kind of cushion walls. Looking a little empty at the moment, and that's kind of what you'll see throughout the entire warehouse is we're very busy. We've got close to the most houses out that we've ever had. So there's a few empty spots and there's new stuff coming all the time at the moment. And then one thing I feel like this is an interesting thing to point out that the ladies have come up with is the way that we look after all of our greenery. So we've got these buckets, and I mean, this is all loose kind of stuff that goes in vases. So a lot of this stuff that was for a while just put in boxes and got quite messy, they've separated into these small buckets. Under the tables they generally have it. They've got these baskets here for some of the smaller things. So that's napkin rings, little utensils, and just some of those smaller things that if you put on a shelf just pile up and go everywhere. So yeah, this is how we kind of set out the stylist room, and then we've got our selection tables there, and then finally in this next room we have a lot of the linen. This is looking a little messy because we had to take some of the buckets for leaking warehouse and other things. So normally these would all be in these little tubs, but got all the linen, flat sheets, fitted sheets, valances. A lot of the throws are either folded up or rolled up and put here. And again, it's quite empty at the moment, but this is where it would all be. There's probably a few things. I could probably spend another 5 or 10 minutes in here explaining some of the ways that the ladies have made it more efficient in this room, but I might save that for specific questions or maybe a future video. To give you an idea, the way that we make sure that our lamps and lampshades stay together is they've all got stickers on them. We code them or name them, and we've got a little book with pictures of all the lampshades, at least the floor lamp, so that we know what goes with what lamp. So we'll go out into the main part of the warehouse. When we looked at doing this little warehouse tour and show around, thought, what's the best time to do it? It's when there's rubbish and boxes and styrofoam everywhere. Buying a lot of new stock, a lot of stuff's arriving. That's why there's stuff everywhere, and I thought, why hide it? A real working stylist, home stagers warehouse, so forgive that. There's a few things, or a lot of things probably, that we've thought about as to how we lay out the warehouse and the shelving, how we store certain things, and all about access, how we get things to the truck, how we get things to the stylist and out the doors and all those sort of things. So I'll try and point those out as we're going. Might just start right behind us, Cody, with these very empty looking shelves, but this is how we store our artwork. So we've got these little shelving, or these shelves from Bunnings, quite lightweight as well, but then we've got the rope in here, and that's just to help keep the art upright, protect it from, or each of the pieces of art's kind of separated. And obviously we've got the different sizing for all the different bits of art. Usually this is a lot more full. I know he's got a couple of giant orders on the way, so if we did this in the next couple of days, it'd be a lot more full. And then over here we've got the even larger pieces of art. The way that we lay out our warehouse, we've thought about where the trucks get loaded and how we get stuff to the trucks and what it is that we're moving. So for instance, these sort of things here, the trees, the lamps, they're all light, they're easy to carry. We didn't mind them being a bit further away from the loading bays. That's why they're over here. Shelving down the back here we use specifically for bedding, so Dunas, Euro pillows, standard pillows, those sorts of things. And again, that's because when the stylist is selecting it, it's lighter, it's easier to get across to where it needs to be. We've also got the shelving running from the front to the back, and that's so that we can easily walk from the loading bays straight down the aisles to get what we need, as opposed to having to go around the ends and come back in. We've got on this side the lighter things again, so the lighter things furthest from the truck, they're easier to get there, so all the bedsides, coffee tables kind of go on this side. This is kind of a transition area for things that either need painting or spray painting, so we need some things that need fixing. We have some of our TVs here. Here we've got new stuff that isn't even unboxed yet. So again, we've got our big roller doors, our loading bays, but we've got space here we've left free for this sort of thing. So when we're pulling furniture out, we've got room to put it, but we've also got room for deliveries and boxes and things. So this should all get unboxed in the next day or two, and then that'll be cleared out again, but it kind of comes and goes from here. And if we look back down from this way, you can kind of see what I was talking about with the shelving front to back, so we can easily go down the aisles and get everything. We tend to have our occasionals on the bottom shelf, on the floor, because they can be heavier. Dining chairs kind of go on the next level and on the top, bar stools and that sort of thing. And then further over to the left is where we have our bigger furniture that goes on the floor. Sofas, we stand up on their end. We've got carpet down to protect the bottom of them and keep them clean. And then on the other side of that, I guess we can go for a little bit of a walk. Dining tables kind of go along here. Back, we tend to put our outdoor furniture. Again, it's light, so we don't mind putting it towards the back, whereas the dining tables can be heavier, and the sofas, so they're at the front right near the bays. Pause. More deliveries. So we're back. We just had a little delivery, more cushions, and then along the side of the wall, there's a bad example right now because a lot of these, we've had stuff come and go and the guys were in a hurry this morning, so I need to tidy it up. But we have this shelving where we put the mattresses in underneath, and then we'll put the bases either in there with them if there's room, or generally they tend to go up the top as well. Mattresses, the bigger things close to the truck, so we're not trying to lug the heavier furniture further. And then finally, just behind me here, Cody, under the shelving is where we put our buffets and our entertainment units, which is also looking quite sparse at the moment, but we've got the carpet underneath. We stand them up just to save space, and we can get quite a few in these, the bays when we need them to be there. How we look after our rugs, we've got shelving. We've tried a few different ways, and there's nothing special about the way that we do it, but we find that this has been the easiest for us to keep it tidy, be able to see what we're looking for quickly, and that's to keep it all together but on shelves. It all gets rolled up. They've all got their own names, and we've actually got a little book which I'll give you a quick glance at in a second that has a picture and a name for all of the rugs. You can see again, there's not a lot here. At the moment, we have a lot of new rugs that have arrived, but before they're in our inventory system, or before we put them in the database, I'm keeping them separate, so they're kind of sitting up above beds and things out of the way for now, but eventually those will all get unwrapped and put in our database and they'll fill the shelves here for us. The last thing I guess that I wanted to show is what we do with our glass, which basically we've got this section of the wall. We wanted the glass to be close to where the trucks are loaded, so we're not, especially, I mean, what's here at the moment you can see is quite small glass. It's fairly light and it's easy to carry, but we do have some bigger tables and quite heavy pieces of glass, so we wanted that to be close to the truck. We also wanted it to not be where we're carrying other furniture past it. Where it is here, the truck parks here at the end of the day. Generally, there's nothing else here, so there's no reason to be walking past it. It's sitting here protected, and we've got the padding down underneath it. So it's our glass wall.
So there it is, the Foxy Home Staging Warehouse. And you know what, we will probably have an update for you pretty soon, like a new warehouse tour video, as we're looking to expand our warehouses, but more of that in a future episode. To finish this week's episode, I have two very quick installs to show you. The first of which is with Ebony, and then we'll go straight into the second install with Cassie.
Yes, we have just finished up, bang on 3 o'clock. This was quite a large house. We have formal living and dining, another dining. We've got another living space, a media, another living space upstairs, and 5 bedrooms as well.
nights this morning at a 3-bed townhouse. We're only doing the living, dining and master bed and outdoor area, so we're nearly done.
So these come together, this is bread and butter for you really, hey?
Yeah, I've been here for maybe 40 minutes and we're nearly done. I just have to hang the artwork.
And that is it for episode 159. As always, thanks for watching and we'll see you back here next week.